Canadians have gotten used to staying up in the middle of the night and watching you curl in Russia, in Korea, and now they have to do it in Beijing. What do you say to all the Canadians who are going to be cheering you on yet again at another Olympics?
To all the sports fans, curling fans, Olympic fans, just thank you for cheering for us. Thank you for believing in us and allowing us the opportunity to showcase our great sport of curling, and hang in there with us. It's going to be an emotional roller coaster. We know that it's not going to be easy, but we're going to leave it all on the ice and have as much fun as possible. So I'm looking forward to leaving it all on the ice and giving it our best shot. So hopefully we can put on a good show for everyone.
Well, we've had amazing fans over the years. They're so supportive and diehard Team Jones fans. So it's amazing to have them, and I know they'll be watching and staying up at all hours of the night to watch us. But I think that's our team, we always put on a good show. It's we always come down to the wire sometimes. So, and you never know what's going to happen sometimes. So, yeah, sometimes classic Team Jones style gets a little crazy, but luckily it worked out, and we're going back to the Olympics, so it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people mad at us that they're, got very little sleep, and they're probably drinking lots of coffee today, and you know what, they probably wouldn't have it any other way. You're used to staying up late watching us, cheering us on. It's really cool that we have the support of so many people, not just in Newfoundland and Labrador, but all across Canada. It's very special to be able to share these moments with people who support us this whole time, and they live and die on every shot just as much, probably more than what we do. And I love hearing stories like it's, now we're going to go back home and people are going to say, this is what I was doing when you guys won. This is, and that's the fun part. You get to relive it again.
Curling now enters the Sports Weekend Spotlight.
Hi again, curling fans. Colleen, of course, you and I did the interviews, but watching that again, all the feels, all the emotion, and what humility and gratitude for the fans.
They all have that, and it was great hearing from Mark Nichols again, because of course we had Colette Nichols on the show, and we know how difficult it is for the families back home watching and the fans, especially in Newfoundland and Labrador. But of course, these both Jennifer Jones and Brad Gushue's team have coast to coast to coast fans that are living and dying on every shot. But you're right, that morning we went to do it, we were just sort of listening. Now hearing it here, now that the Olympics are here, and realizing Canadians are having to readjust their schedules to watch, even more impactful.
No kidding. And of course, The Rock was rocking this morning. What a performance, opening performance by Gushue and the boys from Newfoundland and Labrador. A 10-5 victory to begin over Denmark. Colleen, it was close at the break, but what I tweeted is that Gushue will grind you down and you can't keep up throughout a game. What did you like?
Well, first off, you're right about that, and don't worry about a close game at halftime with Gushue. He has said to us over and over again that he is very patient. We just have to think about that championship final against Brad Jacobs right down to the bitter end, right? I mean, that was nip and tuck. So they're a very patient team. Talked to him at the fifth end break and was happy to see he talked about that drop it challenge.
Right.
During the fifth end interview, right? Because you're like, that to me is a sign of where the headspace of a curler is. If they're light enough and easy enough to be able to speak about something they did and posted on Twitter, that's nice. It's when they're wound so tight that they can't see the forest through the trees that you kind of get worried.
Right.
So he sounded calm, even though that was Denmark came and played so well in the first five, and then Gushue just put a little bit of the foot on the gas pedal and pulled away. Right. And they were awesome. They all just felt loose and control, just loose.
Yeah.
And that's how they want to play. Just like this is another normal bonspiel. So great to see. Jennifer's team, by the way, they also, when we interviewed Jennifer on that curling show last week when they were still back in Canada, and she spoke so heartfelt about the gratitude and joy she wants to bring here. It's the same vibe she had was it Sochi?
Sochi,
Yes.
yeah.
Forgetting my Olympics. They have that here too. They're very just taking it all in. They've been to a few events, and interesting that Gushue will have 2 full games in before Jennifer even takes to the ice.
No kidding. And to that point, Call, of course, everyone across the country drinking a lot of coffee, including us, as we get ready for a 1 a.m. Eastern time game, Gushue versus Norway, who I would say stunned the defending Olympic bronze medalist 7-4 in the opening draw.
Yeah, stunned is the right adjective there because, of course, Peter de Cruz, that's a very solid team. But Norway's been building, right? Every time you see this new team after the crazy pants of Norway retired, it's interesting to see that, you know, when we saw them at the Worlds, they were just inching up and close to teams. So
yeah.
It's a surprise, yet not a surprise. How do you like that?
I love it. I think that can be the theme for every curling event at the Olympics.
Oh my gosh, we are raving about this field, and for good reason. I mean, and your favorite description is buckle up, and I think you have to be ready for the roller coaster here at the Ice Cube.
Taking nothing for granted, an opening win for the defending Olympic champion John Schuster over ROC.
That was an extra end.
And Sweden had to battle it out against China. So, yeah, we saw a lot of competitive games as we expected. And we're getting ready for more, no doubt.
Yeah, Sweden, by the way, you know, playing against China, who's coached by their former mentor and coach, Pia Lindholm. So
right.
There's a lot of intertwining here of teams.
Intertwining?
Go
ahead.
Well, USA Women play today, and they're coached by Canadian Lainey Peters, my former teammate. And I don't know how many Scotties titles she has, but a lot. And she's just, again, one of those people that brings a lot of joy and gratitude to every team she plays with. So the Lainey factor is always big, in my opinion.
Good evening to all of you across Canada and wherever this finds you. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We love to see the comments at the bottom. Let us know your thoughts about what's unfolding and what you're looking forward to. We're now looking forward to going to our curling experts, the curling band, activated once again as we bring in Joe, Bruce, and Mike, and we get ready for a lot of sleepless nights ahead of us. No rest for the wicked. Joe, let's start with you. Of course, the women's curling takes center stage shortly. What did you like about the Gushue opening win?
As you already mentioned, I loved how light they were. I also loved how much they were chatting out there. We actually got to hear a few jokes being cracked after a couple of sweeps, and just a lot of information being shared, and nobody seemed to be too uptight. We saw like good shot debriefs. You know, they had a few misses early, and Denmark capitalized on them, and just learning from every rock and hey, what'd you see? What do you know? And just trying to get a hold of the ice. So I thought that it was a really good start. I actually liked that they had some pressure on them and had to make some shots. That's going to give them confidence moving forward. And yeah, like we say, oh, tight game, and that wasn't expected, and oh, you know, Swiss shouldn't have lost, but it's the Olympics. Everyone deserves to be here. I don't think we can say any game is going to be a gimme for this whole entire week. So I think it's a great start, and that was my first time calling a 4-person curling game, and I had a lot of fun.
Nice.
I gotta say, watching 4-person game here, I could have sworn it was over after 8. Like I'm thinking, oh my God, they're still playing. What's going on here? Oh, there's a 9th and 10th end. That's how used to the 8-end game and the speed of mixed doubles. It takes a while to get used to 4-person. Joanne, right quick, are you doing another push-up challenge that I've got to train for? Are you doing that first thing this morning? Because I need the whole choreographed routine.
Yeah, I gotta continue to peruse. You know, it's kind of for those things when you can't sleep in the middle of the night when you're supposed to be napping. So I'll keep you posted though, Colleen.
Okay. And Mike, weren't you supposed to take this morning off? But here you are. You're a trooper.
Well, I just woke up and I had to kind of make my bed. I'm not going to lie. I was this midnight shift is less glamorous than it sounds, Colleen. And I wouldn't mind, you know, between games being able to walk outside and see some sunlight. But I'm not complaining. It's we're happy to be working, and it's been a yeah. This I said we're not halfway done. It feels like the mixed doubles is over. Now we're halfway through. We're not halfway through. we're about a third of the way through our workload. So anyway, we're excited though. A nice start for Brad and the boys, and yeah, we're looking forward to a long week.
Bruce, early on in the competition, thinking back to the mixed doubles, we were sort of getting a sense of what was going to unfold. How big or how much importance do you put into these first few draws, specifically when we look at the top competition that Canada is facing?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that Mike and I are clearly more reluctant to start wearing the broadcast team black tank top. Doesn't fit us quite the same.
No, it's my mood for tonight. It's inhale, exhale, repeat.
Okay.
Because it's hard watching Team Canada out there. I'm like a 12 out of 10. I did not expect to
Devin,
be
let me say tonight,
invested, providing unbiased, neutral coverage of the game.
Those just
Guys, this is
flexing.
hard, okay?
So flexing over there for us.
I'm glad she's all about the mantra. I thought for sure she was prepping for another.
No, it's
push-up
hard. I totally missed that. I just you can't see, but it is hard being in the booth. It's hard being a fan, and I wasn't ready for this, you guys.
Bruce.
I think I remember the question. The question was about the importance of these early games. You don't want to lose them, Devin. First of all, you don't want to have to be chasing later in the week by any means. You don't want your losses to go up to 2, 3, and then hovering around that 4, which is always dangerous. Also, just get your first one under your belt, right? Get it out of the way. I love today. I don't know why this continues to freak out my brain, but it does. And I think these guys do this better than anybody. The Walker-Gallant combo. The second that Nichols or Gushue release the rock, the second, almost before it's even out of their hand, they say, top 8, top a button, back 4. And they're always right there. This continues to mess with my mind incredibly. Their ability to judge is ridiculously good. So I just thought it was a good start. And I think this is a game that on paper you should have won. And it's important to win the games on paper that you should win, because that way you don't have to chase later in the week.
Mike, were you surprised with Norway beating Switzerland? Norway, of course, in the men's side is who Canada plays next.
Well, of the games on the ice, that was probably the upset. But I don't think it was a big upset by any means. Wallstad and his team are very good. You got Torger Nergård on the 6th Olympics for Torger. So those teams have a lot of history. And there's talk about intertwining. I think there's a lot of teams that have some history with each other, and in that case, I know they're very familiar with each other. And no, I wasn't shocked. The other thing was Glukov. I mean, Glukov had a shot to win that game. He had a draw for 2 to win that game against Schuster. So Schuster dodged a little bit of a bullet. It was a very difficult shot, mind you. But the field's tight. The thing I like most about watching Gushue is they weren't their best. They had a lot of misses early, as Joe mentioned, and they still kind of managed to win that game in 8 ends. So that bodes very well for what's going to happen moving forward. But they have Norway tonight at 1:30. Does Canada? So it'll ramp up a little bit the level of competition. They're going to have a tougher time with Norway than they did with Denmark, I feel. But they still, it's in their own hands, obviously.
Yeah, talking about right shot in the right time in that 4th end of that Canada. Who did they play last night?
Denmark. But just to that point, I think it was Bruce or Mike, I can't remember who I'm giving credit to for this point. It's that these guys can have a 75% game and still win games here, right?
Their floor is very high.
Right.
And interestingly, in that Denmark game, like you remember in the 6th end, the Danish skip had a shot for 3 to go 2 up and missed it. So that's, again, speaks to the level of competition, even though he didn't make it. And not to say that the guys wouldn't have won, but they got a little bit of help from Denmark, but they played, when their shots were important, they made all the ones they needed, and that's the key.
All right, guys, we're buckling in for a really long haul. Colleen has it locked down there with the coffee.
I don't have a thought. Did you say I had a thought?
No, I
don't have a thought today. I'm thoughtless today. There's nothing going on.
I said you've got it locked down with the coffee. We've got it
locked
down here. She can't hear us.
No, they're playing
I know you guys will be ready to go in the booth. A long haul ahead, no doubt.
Hey, enjoy Bruce, Rainnie, and Joanne tonight, and Colleen. I've got the night off, so or the morning off, Colleen, in your case. So you got what? Great Britain and Switzerland. Is that what you guys are doing? I don't even know. I'm not even in the loop.
What are we doing tonight? We're doing the Team USA and the Russian Olympic Committee.
See, there, I had no idea. Nor do I care, actually. It's great. So. Have a great show.
I've done one.
Have a good night, Mike. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
First,
Later.
See you for the push-up challenge, Joanne. I'm ready. I'm
gonna
training.
We're going to keep Joe on for a second because I know she wants to have a quick hello to a great curling mom that we all love dearly, of course, who is getting ready to watch her daughter live out her dream at another Olympics. Carol, so wonderful to see you, and good evening to you.
Thank you, Devin, and thank you for having me on, and Colleen. And I know that Joe has to leave, so I do want to acknowledge her presence and just say a couple of things. She's one beautiful mama there, and boy, does she have a cute little guy. You're lucky. Enjoy every moment of it. True. And the other thing is, I know that she's a healthcare worker, and that is close to my heart. So kudos to you. That's all I'm going to say. We've really needed you this past couple of years, and you've done a damn fine job. So
thanks,
proud
Carol.
of you.
And
by the way, before these other two turkeys take over, you're not bad at this job. So, keep it up.
Thanks so much, Carol. I wanted to stick on and just say hi to you. Given that you're a former nurse, I feel like we've always had such a good relationship over the years. I've known you for like the last decade now, and
yes,
you've always been Mrs. Jones to me. I actually didn't know your first name was Carol. So
actually, Mrs. Jones was my mother-in-law, and actually, there's another Mrs. Jones. No, Miss Jones. She's actually, Colleen. I used to tell that to my friends. Mrs. Jones was my mother-in-law. I'm Carol.
Well, sorry. After 10 years, I've been calling you the wrong name. So, Carol, great to meet you. I just wanted to wish you all the best if you watch Jennifer and her team. I know we all can't wait to take it in. And if there was like a definition in the dictionary of a perfect curling mom, perfect family supporter, it would be you. You just
thank you.
Talk to you, and you're so wonderful. And the former nurse in you, the empathy, the love you have for your daughter, for the team, it's just phenomenal. And again, if Canada's watching, you want to be like Carol.
Well, just a little bit of a joke aside, I knew this was happening tonight, of course, and I had to pick up the children from school. And they both had gymnastics. So literally 25 minutes ago, I walked in the door with the youngest. The oldest one is still there till 8:30. Fortunately, Grandpa Lang is picking her up. But I came in the door, first words out of her mouth, Grandma, I'm hungry. I said, yeah, I know you are, honey, because you are every 20 minutes. You'll know. And so I became a grandma tonight, and I said, craft dinner is it. So craft dinner.
Carol, I applaud you. That is wonderful. That's we're going to go across the street. Please go do our sound check.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. It means a lot for me. Thank you.
Okay, Carol.
That is so beautiful, Carol. And healthcare workers across the country, of course, you as an oncology nurse all those years. Definitely. And can I tell you, as a fellow grandma in the grandma club with you, Carol, how I'm missing my little Nene back in Halifax. They bring so much joy that you never expect. So.
I feel really quite truly blessed that I've been able to, by the scenario of helping Jen and Brent through their curling and their lives otherwise, I've been able to do that, and I feel very fortunate that I have a specific special bond with my little granddaughters here, and I have curling to thank for that. So
that's a really good point, that your daughter's a two-time Olympian. Yeah. How does that feel? That then you get to have this front row seat and this pivotal role in her success still all these years.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I'm speechless sometimes. As I say, I'm fortunate, touch wood. My health has been respectable, so I've been able to to carry on and dash around and drive down the 400 multitudes of times and survive. So I feel pretty good. But in terms of Jen and her team, of course, being two-time Olympians, Jocelyn, her first kick, it's mind-blowing to me. We feel very lucky that her dad was around for our first trip, because that was pretty special for him and for her. So to do this again, I think somehow he's circulating up there.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's circulating right back there, because he would always perch himself directly. I don't remember you two ever sitting together, but he was always bam, wherever behind, because he coached her all those years at the Scotties too.
Well, that's right. He loved to be behind the sheet. And I do have to tell you a little side story about Sophie. When we went there, we had, obviously purchased tickets and we had our tickets, but every game you were in a different seat. Like, it was not, you didn't buy row 2, seat 10. You were wherever. So Cheryl Laws and I kind of got attached at the hip, and no matter where she was sitting, I had to sit beside her. That was our good luck charm. But my husband had to sit directly behind the sheet. So very first game, we met Yulia, a little Russian girl, beautiful girl. And she says, I'll look after you. So she'd wheel him behind that sheet. And every game after that, she just took over and was amazing. But he liked that, and he liked his little stopwatch.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he just he was known for that. But you know what? He did, I have to admit, under tense moments when there's a draw to the forefoot, release, she's fine. Don't worry. She's
nice.
there.
He knew it.
Oh.
Well, he's right there for their game against the Garlic Girls. How will you and the girls be watching the games? Will you?
Well,
is it so upside down.
It's a little bit tricky this week, only because like the kids go to school and we leave home here at their home at 7:35 or 7:40, and if we're really pushing it, 7:45, because they have to be at school for 8:15 and it's a half-hour run. So I'll watch the first end or so tomorrow. I'll dash off, drop them off at school, come home and watch the end. But I've PVR'd everything.
Good.
Carol, grandma rules happen when mom's away. Grandma rules. You can keep the girls home from school. Don't.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Pauline. I'll relay that message.
These are grandma rules happening. I know them well.
Hey, Carol, you mentioned Cheryl Laws,
yes,
and the relationship you two have forged, Thelma and Louise.
Yes.
How are you guys on this journey together? Such a different time around. What are you doing to keep up to date, and the messages and the calls, and how are you keeping in touch?
Well, we certainly text a fair bit, and she lives close to where I live. So when restrictions are such that we feel comfortable visiting, I have dropped by, we have lunch, we discuss and solve a few of the problems of the world, and there are many. And we have a nice lunch, and they're real good lunches, Devin. You should drop in someday.
Grilled cheese sandwiches.
Right on. But we do keep in close touch, mainly because, well, our daughters are close and they're working, and they're working at their game. I have to say they've really worked hard this even through COVID, doing their best to try and keep their skill level up and their whatever, and keep healthy. I mean, that in itself, and for me, touch wood on everything, I've been able to keep totally healthy and COVID free. So I try and follow the rules, and so does Cheryl. And sometimes we've met on the doorstep, and I've thrown her something and she throws me something back. And then I go home, and then so then she'll text me And I start to text her, and when you text and you want to say yes or no, it's fine. But if you want to tell a story, I'll just phone her. So then,
Yay, amen to that.
Yeah, and then we phone. She's a special friend, a beautiful lady, and she's also enormously proud of her daughter and the team. So,
do you see the message at the bottom, Heather, saying
I will do the play-by-play on the phone for you, Mom. God bless you, my girl. Yeah, and my daughter Heather, who just sent the note, she's taken a couple of days off work. She's worked around when the girls are playing, and they work from home, her and her husband. And so they're from home, but they're still working. So she's taken a couple of days off just to purely enjoy watching the game. But we communicate at least daily, if not a couple of times a day, particularly when curling's on. So,
I love your Team Canada outfit, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, Lululemon saw me yesterday, so this is it. Oy, oy, oy. Anyway, I had to have something,
You do.
So getting ready, and it's very exciting. A little bit nervous, but you know what? I'm out of control of that, and they play their game. I want them to enjoy every single moment.
Carol.
Yeah.
Sorry to break up your thought, but you probably have 1,000 Jennifer Jones Team Canada jackets in her closet. You
Quite
should
a few,
just
yeah. Mm-hmm. Quite a few.
You can travel that.
And the thing is, of course, and they have Jones on them. You know what it's like. They have Jones on the back, so
right.
I have a hard time parting. So there you go. But no, it's pretty spectacular, and to me, it's an enormous achievement for that team to be there. And so I just want them to soak it all up. And honest to God, win or lose, I still love them a whole lot. So
outstanding, Carol. Before we let you go, we're going to meet the team. They're going to talk a little bit about themselves, and we'll get one final thought from you. Let's take a look.
Okay.
I feel like time has almost stood still, and we just get to experience all of these incredible things. And I pinch myself because I feel like we're so lucky, and it's just such a privilege. And we get to go to the Olympics and enjoy the experience. And it's always been about pushing the limits and seeing what we could do and experiencing it with my team that's made everything so worthwhile. If I didn't throw one more rock after today, like if I look back and think how lucky I am to have won a world championship, gone to the World Juniors, and now 3 Olympics and 12 years with Jennifer and Dawn, like that's really, really special. They've been through a lot with me. I feel like we're a family. So, and now with Jocelyn, she's my roommate. She lives with me. Like to do this with my family is so cool.
We just put a lot of work into that team aspect and having each other's back no matter what. And I think belief is kind of the main thing. The whole week we believed that we would be standing on the podium, and that just gave us so much energy.
Experience, it definitely doesn't hurt you. If it brings value, maybe not. But I think in my perspective, I would definitely say the experience will help me just kind of be in a good place during the Olympics. I'm so thankful for curling. It's given me so many amazing life experiences and sport experiences, and I met my husband. I have a beautiful family, so I feel very blessed.
I was always just so emotional watching athletes stand on the podium. So seeing them sing their national anthem for something that they did, because there's a story behind how that athlete got there, and there's a definite journey that they've had to go through and some obstacles they've had to overcome. So that part of the Olympics is what makes it so special for me.
That brings tears to my eyes. Yeah, and when we were in Sochi, I remember the girls saying, we're going to soak it up and we're going to enjoy every moment that we're there. Enjoy something special every day that we're there. And I think that's their attitude this time, and hopefully it all works out. And keeping my fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. Soaking it up. That's words of wisdom right there. We love having you on the show, Carol. So,
well, you know what? You two are doing an awesome job. Partners on the air, and who can believe that you're in Beijing and Devin's in Toronto and
We're
I'm
still trying to
someplace
bring it all
else?
together with you.
It's actually kind of mind blowing. And Jen does call to talk to the children, and I just think after, oh my God, you just pick up your phone and there's mommy on the phone. Like it's crazy, but it's good.
And we're all connected, Carol.
You bet we are. You bet we are. Carry on with the great work and get some sleep, Dev.
Yeah, I will eventually.
Carol, what about me?
You too. And listen, just one little after note. Thank you for all the little videos that you've been doing on Twitter and so on and so forth. Amazing. You've done a great job. Makes you feel like we're there. Because I'd love to be there. I would be there if I could be there. But
yeah, thank you, Carol.
She's doing a great job keeping us informed in Beijing. And Carol, you've got the house locked down there, and just soak it up, and we'll be chatting throughout.
You bet. Okay, take
Thank
care. Have a great.
You too.
She's Jennifer's mom, but I feel like she's our mom too, or the entire Canadian Olympic team. Her voice is what every mother is saying out there, and it's so beautiful. And talking to Dawn yesterday in the mix zone, she talked about the support she has back home, that it takes a village in order for this team to compete. Not every Olympian here's are moms as well. And so it's a tricky juggle. They do ditto for the men. On the men's side, they're missing their families as well.
Right.
So for Jeff and Mark and Brad, who are dads, it's an extra challenge, especially the quarantining they had to do prior to the Olympic Games to get here.
Yeah.
They all miss their kids.
No kidding. The thing that always strikes me when I listen to Carol is, it's no coincidence why Jen is such a champ when you listen to how Carol talks,
If she grew up with that, it's not just, you can't, as a parent of any athlete, you've got to remind them every day from the time they start that little tykes and little rocks or minor league hockey. You've got to remember, soak it up, enjoy it. Just enjoy this. It's not about winning. It's about the moment and the privilege of just playing sport. It's not a privilege to play sport. It should be a way of life, right?
Beautiful.
And so just enjoy it.
So much to learning lessons in sport and life throughout the Olympics, no doubt. And there's also some learning going on in classrooms, essential viewing and essential learning. Curling classes in session across Newfoundland and Labrador. And I know Cowan Heights Elementary has been rocking and rolling, and we're going to bring in some of the teachers right now to tell us what's going on the rock. So
more life lessons for us.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Good morning. Is that even a mascot with you?
Yeah, the whole crew is here. It's 9:00 here, and we are all settled away. We don't sleep at the school. It's not true. Don't believe the children.
So tell me, you guys have gone above and beyond the call of duty to create a mini Olympics at Cowan Heights Elementary. What kind of process went into your planning your Olympic Games?
Yeah, so we just came back from online learning. So while we were online, we knew the Olympics was coming up. So at that point, we weren't sure if we were going to be back in the classroom or if we were actually going to be still online. So me and Miss Phillips here, the reading specialist, we tried to plan something that would work no matter if we were online or returned in class. So we're actually back in the classrooms now, which is great. So we start planning together, and then we put it out to our staff, and the staff jumped on board once we had our staff meeting, and there's been a lot of excitement. We started off with a little promo trailer to get the kids excited, tell them a little bit about the Olympics, showcase some sports. And then yesterday we had our torch run to open up, and we had a virtual opening ceremony. So because we can't combine classes or anything, we're all in cohorts here in Newfoundland. We did a huge school-wide Google Meet and just brought the kids together. Our wonderful grade 5 class put together the opening, and then we went from there. And then yesterday we had a door decorating contest. Each class had the country, And then today was a lot of curling. We had a STEM curling project, and then in phys ed classes we were curling as well. So a lot of excitement.
Can you introduce everybody to us?
Yep. So right here is Miss Lannet. She's
Love your sweatshirt.
Oh, thank you. Grade 3 classroom teacher. I'm Miss Careen. I'm the phys ed teacher. Then we have Miss Phillips, the reading specialist, and we have Hero on the end, our mascot.
Wonderful to have you. Wonderful to have you all in the house. I think we actually have some video of all the excitement taking place. So why don't we take a look at what you've described for us?
Sounds good.
Oh, that's outstanding. That is so good. So is this a round robin you're playing, by the way, in the curling, or is it now will you move on to another Olympic sport? Like, will you actually do the luge with the kids? I'd love to see.
We don't have enough snow for that right now.
We're hoping. Our fingers are crossed by next week we'll actually have snow here.
One of the things that really, that you touched on earlier, and it spoke clearly to all of us here, is that sense of community and, staying connected. And throughout all this, our virtual learning and making those connections with our kids, that was the most important part of why we kind of collaboratively planned this out, because kids are why we love our job, and we're here every single day, and it's hearing those laughter and the excitement in our building and hearing them cheer for Team Canada. It's just wonderful.
We just had Carol Jones on, and she's a former oncology nurse, and she spoke to Joanne Courtney, who's doing our commentating, and Joanne's a nurse, and she talked about the role of healthcare workers. But can I tell you, you teachers across Canada, God bless you all. That's so great what you're doing.
The excitement in our building right now is unreal. It's unbelievable. Kids in the hallways are super excited. They're coming to you in the morning. They're looking forward to what's next. And our teachers really helped play a part in that this week.
What a credit to you guys for taking this on. And I'm reflecting about 16 years ago when Gushue fever took over Newfoundland and Labrador, and I'm wondering what that meant to you guys, because now there's this experience again, and how that can literally spark Olympic dreams and excitement and sport, and sort of allow people in Newfoundland and Labrador to believe there's so much more out there.
Well, it's amazing actually you say that. So we started off our morning right away this morning and tuned into the Gushue game. And, I came in with my sweatshirt on, and a couple of my kids said to me, "Miss, I didn't realize you were such a curling fan." And it just really kind of then lended itself to those discussions about, 16 years ago. And now that here we have, some Newfoundlanders participating in the Olympics, and they were just tuned in. They were glued to the screen. And at one point, like halfway through the game, one of my students just kind of stopped and looked at me, and he said, "Miss, how old do you have to be to go to the Olympics? Because I think I can get there someday." Yeah. So, I mean, we're all about unlocking that potential and just, doing these types of things. We're just kind of mentoring them. And, as a teacher, to be able to see a student on the screen in a few years' time potentially at the Olympics, what a treat that would be for an educator. So.
So what words of wisdom. We often think of Olympians as superheroes, but really they're just everyday folks who had the opportunity and did the work, and it's possible for anybody. So that's awesome. Dies for a bit of curling. I need that.
I want that shirt. I want that shirt.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you want to see a real vintage piece?
Oh, of course.
So this is what I had on today. It's not mine.
Oh, Laura Phillips.
It's my husband's. He went away to the provincials back in '94. So I told him I was going to present this today because it was really exciting experience for him.
Right. Okay, just to correct you about your husband, he didn't go to the provincials. That's a Briar Purple.
Oh yes,
Heart.
he went. That's
Hello.
right. Yeah.
Let's get with
Sorry,
your husband.
I'm gonna get spoken to when I get home.
I just spoke to you, so awesome. Practice is finished.
Yeah, practice is finished. The first women's draw set in about 20 minutes from now. Any last thoughts, guys, as we get ready for more Gushue Mania and get ready for all that's going to unfold in the class and in the gym there on the Rock?
We are just going to keep cheering loud and cheering hard, and we're going to, keep making goals for all these kids and just to keep them to be the best that they can be.
Awesome.
And we'd just like to shout out to all of our Cowan Heights Olympians and our school who's watching.
Great stuff. So good. Thank you guys for being on the show. You look great. Again, Colleen and I will send you some information about Dies for a bit of curling shirts.
No, so this is a local company actually. So support local, and yeah, we can send you the link to easily get one. No problem.
We'll be in touch. Outstanding.
Support local and thank your teacher wherever you are today.
I have loved this show, Col.
Me too.
Yeah.
And you and I, and thank you to everybody on the show and to the Twitter notes, because Devin and I needed a little pick-me-up today. You always do it this time of the Olympic Games. And thank you. You rose us up. You raised us up.
Yep.
Got us going.
We're going to keep going. Of course, 1 a.m. Eastern time, Gushue and the boys back on the ice against Norway. And then, of course, Jennifer Jones and her team take on Korea, the defending Olympic silver medalist. That's at 7 a.m. Eastern. You've got a big day ahead of you, Col. I know you'll be ready, and I'll be with you every shot of the way.
And thanks for Carol to let me know she likes the little videos that you and I often post. Because sometimes you're like, should I bother? I'm going to bother Carol.
Keep tweeting.
Just for Carol.
Keep tweeting, Col.
You're the king of Twitter.
Come on.
Me. All right, buddy.
Awesome.
Thanks, producer Soph, for everything. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Have a good day, Col. Thanks, Soph. See you soon, curling fans.